Loaded. Hope all of you are doing exceptionally well. Godspeed already here. I am doing well, man. I hope you are doing very well. Guys, don't forget to check me out at twitch.tv/Laura Reloaded. Been on there every night having some fun, with the exception of last night. Twitter.com/Laura Reloaded as well. If you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, if you think I'm wrong, if you want me to know how the EU is the greatest thing and the United States sucks, you should definitely go there. First, follow me and then tell me how much it sucks. I mean, that's just, just like a Christian would do. Hope everybody's doing well. We got Trek Cannon up in the house. Jeff Franklin, always a good day to see you, good sir. Saber Blood Teeth. Now, I'm not going to be on that long today, guys. I'm also trying to find Lord Kells, of course, and James Horse. I'm always trying to find a good way to have things to talk about. I would love to, again, start doing these more and more, but with what the channel is known for, that may not be possible, which is one of the reasons why I'm moving over to Twitch or Mixer for the majority of these. So you guys who just like your Trek, you don't have to do that. Don't forget to hit that bell notification button too while we're here. So what we'll be talking about today is we'll just keep on trekking, because Trek Canon is so funny. Toomey finally showed up on time. That's always a positive for him. Of course, morning. Broken Eyes, what's going on? So there's a couple of things I kind of wanted to get into. First off, a huge thing that's going on is that I didn't decide. It was requested that I do Robotech specifically. Someone who actually pays for the Patreon tier requested Robotech specifically, and yet SDF Macross fans are getting really upset about that when Robotech includes a large part of SDF Macross. But I may do SDF Macross later. And don't talk about Robotech not saying that it is, don't talk about Robotech not being good. Robotech's pretty decent. Very decent. It is 3 animes in one, that's correct. And one of those animes is, wait for it, SDF Macross. I thought the channel was known for sacrificing Ewoks. We do. That's how we get our Trek knowledge, is by sacrificing Ewoks. Yeah, it's time to trigger lore. I won't be on here long, so you gotta be quick about this. What's up, lore? Thought no show today. Yeah, I had an hour to spend, so I thought I'd spend it with you, Michael Lindsay. I hope that's okay, good sir. So let's go ahead and talk about George Lucas. Apparently felt betrayed by Disney's new Star Wars trilogy. This is specifically from Forbes, but you can go on the internet and see it from everybody. I actually watched Jeremy John's breakdown of it. He was pretty upset about it. I'm on the fence. So for those who don't know, we'll go ahead and just discuss this. And give me guys your opinion. So if you like Star Wars, definitely stay and give me your opinion. If you don't like Star Wars, stay and keep the volume on so that I get the views. As with all things Star Wars, from The Empire Strikes Back to Jar Jar Binks, the newest trilogy of films in the Skywalker saga have been controversial. That's not surprising, with a fandom deeply invested in the decades-long space opera franchise. You're never going to please everyone. Of course, with the latest 2 films in the series, Solo: A Star Wars Story and Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, controversy has only deepened. The Last Jedi, in particular, was a divisive film. It also makes one wonder what would have happened if Disney had followed George Lucas's script outlines more closely. It turns out Lucas had the final 3 films mapped out, but Disney was under no obligation to see his ideas through to fruition. Deckfish, I love your work. Thank you, sir. I love your work. Going back to what I was reading, in his recent memoir, The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger reflects on the Lucasfilm acquisition and Lucas's early days with working with Disney on the new trilogy. He agreed to send us 3 copies of the outlines, one for me, one for Alan Braverman, and one for Alan Harn, who'd just been hired to run our studio. Alan Hart and I read George's outlines and decided we needed to buy them, though we made clear in the purchase agreement that we would not contractually be obligated to adhere to the plot lines he laid out. He knew that I was going to stand firm on the question of creative control, but it wasn't an easy thing for him to accept. and so he reluctantly agreed to be available to consult with us at our request. I promised that we'd be open to his ideas. This was not a hard promise to make. Of course we'd be open to George Lucas's ideas. But, like the outlines, we would be under no obligation. When Lucas met with Disney to go over the trilogy's direction, he discovered that the company would not be using all his ideas. Here's Iger again. Again, Forbes person saying it. George immediately got upset as they began to describe the plot, and it dawned on him that we weren't using one of the stories he'd submitted during the negotiations. In the first meeting with him about the future of Star Wars, George felt betrayed, and while this whole process would never have been easy for him, we'd gotten off to a rocky start. So, and this is by Eric Kane. So, the Lucas sells Star Wars, and he sells it for $4 million. $2 million up front, and a little under $2 million in stocks. They buy his ideas. He's like, hey, I got an idea for all the sequels. Here's my ideas. Here, just take them. Well, he doesn't say take them. He sells them. And then they use some of them, but not all of them. And he felt betrayed and upset. And like Surf Trekatonics says, Lucas is crying into his mountain stacks of $4 billion. He sold it. He knew he was selling the rights. He knew his stuff wouldn't be used. And he made $4 billion. You know what would happen if Disney bought my channel for $4 billion and they took it in a direction that I wildly disagreed with? You know how I'd sleep at night? With a warm glass of milk, some blonde that doesn't really like me for me but my money, and $4 million in the bank. And I'd sleep like a baby. Like a baby. Iger has terrible history in Disney. I'm wondering how he got to be CEO. Maybe you have to be a terrible person to get CEO of Disney. Did you ever think about that? The big rumor is Brie Larson is going to be a star in the new Star Wars movie that Kevin Feige has. Yeah, it's looking like Brie Larson is actually going to be a Jedi, which I hate, but it's whatever. Hey, Laura, may I ask an unrelated random question? Yeah, just ask it. Guys, don't ask me to ask the question. Just ask the question. Just ask. If I don't like it, I won't answer it. Just ask it. I said billion. I said billion. How do you not understand 4 billion with a B? Like blonde billion. Randoms to fake. Learn to pronounce B. You know, that's really interesting. It's kind of crazy to me. Because your mom really likes the way I say billion. So I don't know. If you sell your ideas and then the person you sold them to does stuff to your ideas that you hate, you have the right to shut the F up. I'll say this. I mean, he can give his opinion on it. And that's okay. But the he has the right to give his opinion and say, hey, I don't like this, or they're going in a different direction, or they told me they do something different. But, I mean, to get too upset about it, again, just trust me, George, Lucas, just trust me on this, buddy. Find a blonde, male or female, just blonde, doesn't matter. And then when you're going to sleep, have a warm glass of milk, and remember, you got $4 billion. You got more money than most of us will ever... You got more money than if you combined all of us together, most of us would make, all combined together. That's all I'm saying. Someone asked, what was my favorite species? I really like the Twi'leks. That's not just Star Wars. I just have always liked it. And I like Ahsoka Tano's race. What's her race? Ahsoka Tano race. Forget her race. Oh, hell. What is she? Tograta. I like the Tograta. Yeah, I think those would be my favorite races overall. Money can't buy happiness, Lore. Disagree. With money, I can buy literally almost anything I want. Thus, I can buy happiness. Happiness can be bought at a premium, good sir. What do you think of creators like J.K. Rowling releasing information after TV shows and movies have ended? I mean, it's fine. I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. I really think J.K. Rowling's is more just either trolling or trying to get attention. I have long since rolled my eyes and just ignored her. So maybe realize that $4 billion is not worth the legacy of his movies. If you think Star Wars, the legacy of Star Wars, isn't worth $4 billion, you and I put a different price on Star Wars. It is absolutely the destruction of Star Wars mythos. The destruction of Trek mythos is worth $4 billion. I'll take that check in a second, buddy. Michael Weir, happy Friday, lore. Money sure helps. Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate. Michael is a huge supporter of the channel and really great guy. He's also one of the people that requested I get into SDF Macross and Robotech. Michael Weir, let me know what you're thinking about the breakdowns and stuff. I cannot tell you how awesome. Michael Weir is one of the top tier supporters. Really great guy. So maybe I'll do a happy dance. Again, thank you so much. 100K a year isn't enough to live in New York City? Well, then don't live in New York City, Bird of Prey. Just don't. George was god of Star Wars, regardless of the payoff. Disney did do negative things to him, and the fan base took notice. Yeah, I mean, so there's two different pieces here, though. There's two. Are we talking about how Disney treated George Lucas? Which, again, for $4 billion, you can do whatever you want to me, by the way. I'm just saying, good or bad. But are we looking at how they treated Lucas or what they did with their property? Like, when they bought Star Wars, they bought the ability to do whatever they wanted, you know? Whatever they wanted. So if they want to destroy it, then they destroy it. And I get that, you know, I'll say this. I can understand creating something and caring about it and wanting it to do its best and things like that. Yeah, he's a writer, he's a filmmaker, he's a creator of worlds, and he put almost all of his life into it. Arguably, Lucas lost his marriage because of it. So I understand that, but again, he sold it. He could have chose not to. And when you steal things, or not when you steal things, when you sell things, you give up the right to, you know, what they're done. Jeff Franklin, in your synopsis of the season 8 of DS9 ID, you said Kira went to the Gamma Quadrant and brought Odo back to investigate. Jeff Franklin, they did. They actually even had a drawing of it and everything. You should go back and rewatch it. She specifically got Odo for him to investigate. They made it a big deal that it was Kira that asked. Charles Strumval says, if, and I mean if loosely, Lucas can't sleep at night, in addition to a blonde, take that $4 billion and build another franchise. He could do that. That's for sure. If you guys actually have a problem with Disney's treatment of Star Wars, then make the deal a bad one for them. See, and you know, I would agree with that. I think Matrim actually is where it's at. If you don't like what they did to Lucas, if you don't like where the direction Star Wars is going, then you should make it a bad deal. But here's how you make it a bad deal. You don't do a bunch of videos saying how much you hate it. You don't spread misinformation or anything like that. You don't attack the actors, the directors, or anything of that nature. You forget it ever existed. But we can't, and we won't, and I get that. And I also, to be fair, I also understand criticizing something, wanting it to be better, and trying to do it that way. But if you really want to hurt something, if you want to cause it a massive amount of damage, forget it ever existed. And then to put salt in the wound, go to whatever its competitors are and put your energy there. I mean, and this kind of gets into kind of what we were talking about before. I have a lot of friends in the quote unquote fandom menace. I don't in fact hate the movement or anything. I do think some people in it, I do think that some people in it go a little bit too far. Again, they go from being critical, being passionate, to attacking the people within it. And all that does is just help it out. All that does is just really fuel fire, make it put its name back out there. Am I saying to boycott Star Wars? If you really feel that passionate about it and you don't like it, then yes. Bork Nom Nom 9000. By the way, I love your name. I don't think people want to hurt it to ruin it. They just want it to be better. That's fair. I'm not saying anybody in the Phantom Menace wants to hurt it or wants to necessarily cause pain, but what you want to do and what you're doing are two different things, right? And you just have to change the way you go about it. And I'm honestly, I'm more talking, when I say that, I'm more talking about the, I'm more talking about the reaction and the audience than I am any specific channel. Because when I say Phantom Menace or when I say this, a lot of people assume that I'm going after specific channels. It's not the channels that I have an issue with. In fact, I can agree with some of the videos. Again, I'm friends with a lot of them. It's the way people react and take it to the next level. And that's a thing that I've been pondering. So Sigma says, so watch Orville over Star Trek Discovery. If you don't like what Star Trek Discovery is, don't have anything to do with any of the CBS, Paramount, Viacom properties. Go to Star Wars. Go to The Expanse. Go to Orville. Make a channel dedicated to Orville or dedicated to The Expanse. Yes, that's exactly what you do. And I forgot where I was going with the other thing. So the audience takes and I've been thinking about that. So I actually love Star Trek. I enjoy, I can enjoy every series Star Trek has in some way. And you want to know the one I like the least, my least enjoyable one? The animated series. Not even Discovery. I like Discovery over the animated series. Cannot stand the animated series. Again, I can't stand it, but there are some things that I can appreciate about it. But it's something I've been thinking about because I'm always, I'm always critical of the things I really enjoy. It's just the way I'm built. And my humor and everything just makes my stuff pretty dour. But what's interesting to me is that for my channel, most people get it. Most people understand that that's just the way I am. There are a very small minority that takes what I say or the criticisms I do and tries to use it as a vehicle to attack people or attack things. I really don't like that. That annoys me because it really bastardizes what I do. By the way, welcome, Captain Coco. So I've been thinking about that. I'm not going to change my style or anything. It's just something it's just an unfortunate thing about it, you know? And I think that's what a lot of the audience does. They take something negative or something passionate and then they just take it to the next level. Talia Al Ghul, the Phantom Menace, Talia Al Ghul, the Phantom Menace got what happened from George, the horse's mouth, Bob Iger. What happened to George from, wow. The Phantom Menace got what happened to George from the horse's mouth, Bob Iger, not from rumor sheets. What's that have to do? Can you tell me where I said that they got it from rumors? If you could point that out in the VOD, I'd appreciate that. Question, is the animated series considered canon? It is at this point considered canon, yes. I liked Rebels, get to see that time. I liked Rebels, got to see that time. I'm not a huge fan of Rebels, but I do like Clone Wars. Yes, Matron, it's the way I enjoy it. Good morning, James. You may now officially begin your live stream. All right, guys. So Johnny Doe is here. We can officially begin. Michael Weir, why are we saying huh? Jokes are good. I'm subscribed to Tex. He makes me laugh. I love Tex. We're doing a collaboration soon. Yeah, Star Trek, the animated series, I can't watch. One episode had some giant orange sponge and something stopped after that. Yeah, I don't think it was a giant orange sponge. I think they were tribbles that they made like a mega tribble or something like that. That's the animated series got real silly. And the fact that it's canon just blows my mind. I want to see Jedi Guards live action, possibly in the Old Republic trilogy. I don't know that we're going to do that, and I hope they did. I, I I would love to see the Old Republic and the Jedi at their height, like what we see in the no, what is it? What's the Star Wars game? The Star Wars MMO. What's it called? Star Wars MMO. The Old Republic. My God, guys, I should not have went live today. Star Wars: The Old Republic. I love the animations for that, where you get to see them. I don't want to see the Jedi destroyed like you do see in the Old Republic. I would like to see them at their height before they were stupid. Yeah, the Herc did nothing wrong. Didn't do nothing. Herc didn't do nothing. The makers of Game of Thrones, Dan and Dave, are making an Old Republic trilogy. So you're saying that they're going to be a really crappy Old Republic trilogy. Okay. They meet Satan, so Picard's atheism seems a little bit unreasonable. They met Satan. Oh, in the animated series? If you're talking about them meeting Satan in the animated series, there's no reason to believe that Satan wasn't the Q. No reason to believe that Satan wasn't just some extraordinary being. They can't do Knights of the Old Republic because Malachor was changed too much. Okay. Will Star Trek Picard do the Argo Dune buggy jump on the shuttle? I hope they do. I hope they continue to have buggies. Speaking of that, moving into Star Trek, the CBS chief, this is from Trek News Today, or TrekToday.com, by David Nell, or not by David Nevins, by CBS Chief Creative Officer David Nevins, spoke about promoting Star Trek while addressing attendees at the Bank of America Merrill Lynch Communications and Entertainment Conference in Los Angeles. We really believe in not only serving inside our own ecosystem, but serving people outside, he said. What we're trying to do right now with Star Trek is build that brand. We want it to get younger and more relevant to people. Viacom and CBS together can form a virtuous ecosystem, Nevins added, referring to movies, ad-supported television, and streaming options. For me, that says a lot by saying a little. I really think that by saying that they're trying to get younger, it just means we're not going to be looking at Nostalgia Trek. We're not going to be looking at the way things were. We're going to be trying to get new audiences, and the way we think new audiences will come is through Star Trek Discovery. And I mean, let's be fair here. Are they wrong? Are they incorrect by saying, hey, we're going to do this Star Trek Discovery's way? We're going to try to get younger. I don't know that they are. I think this is going to be horrible. People may disagree or get mad at this, but I think we as a fan base we have served our purpose. And now they're not as concerned about what we feel anymore. They basically are saying that they think Star Trek is old, that they're going away from the old formula that we've enjoyed for decades in favor of new. I agree, Peter Hake. That's what I'm saying. I think that they're trying to get the younger audiences, and that they don't care about millennials now. Millennials are on the way out, and Gen X and the Greatest Generation, if there's still anyone alive that's in the Greatest Generation, don't matter as much anymore. And so that's why we're seeing all of this stuff the way it is. Any chance for the original series Bird of Prey breakdown? I think I already have broken down the original Bird of Prey. Pretty sure I have. You know, and this goes to your point, Saber Bloodteeth, and you probably, I know there's a delay, so you haven't heard what I said yet. I don't. I just don't think they're doing as bad as people think. I think, they may not be doing as good as people think. I don't know that things are all sunshine and lollipops, but I don't think they're hurting. I think they're being profitable. Nathan Norman, Disco didn't have the audience, though Disco almost half the audience, and Star Trek is a niche anyway. They're trying for more mainstream relevance, but that'll fail as kids only like games. I don't know, Nathan. I don't know, man. I think we may disagree on this one. Again, I'm not saying they I'm not saying that it's the end of the world or anything. I'm not saying that they're. I'm not saying the extremes. I'm not saying that they're just rolling in money and having like huge money fights, but I'm also not saying that they're bankrupt. I think they're being pretty profitable. What did you think of the Nova Dreadnought from Babylon 5? I liked it, if I remember. I think. Justice Ag, get out of you old phonies. You younger ones get in. That is exactly. I mean, that's all corporations. That's always happened. The funny thing is, here's what's unique. I think about what's occurring right now. This is nothing new. Like, as a film student, as someone who studies film, who's ingratiating himself in television and just looking at the craft, not since the invention, but when they finally began serializing films and TV shows, when they started making cohesive universes, because they didn't do that starting out. When they started making cohesive universes, they would make something great. It would do well in that generation. And then if they wanted to make more money, they would just change it up and try to do something different. What's unique about now is that we have the internet and we are so wildly connected and people are so in touch with each other that we're noticing it. And I think that people are like, oh my God, this is so horrible. Look at what they're doing. This has been done since the cohesion, since someone thought, hey, I'm going to create a character, put them in a world, put that on TV and make some money off of it. Paramount was in serious trouble, says Michael Ware. I don't remember that, but even if it was, I'm more talking about CBS. I'm not talking about Paramount. But if it isn't, I mean, maybe. I don't remember that. Paramount isn't only Star Trek, though. They had a lot of properties. Paramount did some stupid stuff, too, the more I think about it. I still watch Discovery because I like sci-fi, and we had a few nowadays, and all got canceled. Sure. Darn kids, take your disco and get off my lawn. That is true. I think they went the wrong way with Trek. I, like many others, were brought into Trek by my parents. CBS should be encouraging that by keeping a strong continuity and expand on what's there. That can be a fair argument. You can say, hey, maybe they're going in the wrong direction with this, that you can do it the way you did it in the 80s or the 90s and still have a really good product. I don't know that would work, but you could try to make that argument. And yeah, Peter Haig, 86, they're to that point, and that's what got me thinking about it and more looking into it. Remember there was an outcry with The Next Generation from the original series lovers that it was going too far into the future and disregarding the core fan base. I remember my dad having that discussion with me. And even in Deep Space Nine, in the documentary, they read some of the, and this was done on purpose, I realize, but they read some of the criticisms, and one of the major criticisms there was about how, they've just given up the Prime Directive, how they're not going anywhere, how this isn't Trek. It sounded very distinctly Discovery. And that was done on purpose. I'm absolutely certain. But it still shows that there was that kind of thing there. Maybe not to the degree. But I do think that to agree. I agree. I too learned about Star Trek because my dad showed me a few episodes. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying that you couldn't try it from the original, but let me ask you this, and be completely honest with yourself. And go on Twitter and look on Twitter if you want to. If you still think I'm wrong, Do you think you are those who watched it with your parents and stuff, who saw it from the nostalgia trick? Do you think that is the mainstay of people who are watching? Uh, Bonus points. Even if you think that's the mainstay of people who are watching, do you think you're who they want, or do you think they want to try to be more like The Expanse Light or Orville Light, which is ironic calling Star Trek Orville Light? Yeah, if we can jump off the fandom menace and discussing negative other channels that we consider negative and stuff, just stop that argument altogether on both sides. I'd appreciate that. I hated The Next Generation because I wanted a Trek movie era series. I wanted a DS9 movie era series, but that's just me. Uh, I do believe it is The Expanse Light. I believe that's what they're going for. Talk to you later, Broken Eyes. Thanks for coming by. Why does how Starfleet look at the end of the Dominion War break canon? You asked that in a comment that I didn't respond to because I was busy. I'm sorry. I would say it somewhat breaks canon because Starfleet won and beat the ever-living hell out of who they were fighting and came out on top. Every time they were in a fight or in a war in a future episode, like with the Klingons or with the Romulans or whoever, they always were losing. If you remember yesterday's Enterprise, the Klingons were beating them handily. Klingons are nowhere near as tough as the Dominion. So, and I was saying that it isn't consistent with what we see in future episodes that never occurred, future wars that never occurred. I mean, does it break canon? I probably misused the term, but you see what I'm saying? They win a war, but in every time we've ever seen them fight a war, they lose it in those episodes. Now, let's take a look at Talia Al Ghul, who is very interested in defending her channels. So you're saying at Lore Reloaded isn't making this stream for clicks. Going back to referring when Daddy James Film says other channels are using hate to make clips. Talia, allow me to enlighten you on the way that I do things. I indeed create content and do my channel titles and the things I do in a way that is makes people want to come in and talk. And I will even say things that I consider to be quote unquote controversial so that it creates a conversation. The point of the channel and the way I do things is to get people to feel and get people to think and get people to have a discussion. There is a difference between challenging someone's base core ideas and then just randomly putting stuff up that you know is going to piss people off. Am I doing it for clicks and views? Why, yes, because I have 2 kids and a house. So I need people to watch and enjoy as I dance for them for free content so I can get pennies on the dollar of what Google gets so that I can continue to feed my family. But if you're going to say that I'm doing this just like someone, and this isn't any specific channel, because I like most all the channels, but just like someone who says George Lucas deserves to die in a pit, you are incorrect, in my opinion. I'm not mad. We're having the discussion. Not Ryan Johnson, helping out the channel. Just want to show my appreciation to you and your channel. Thanks for the great work you do. Thank you. Again, guys, and on that point, it blows my mind that you guys are like, you just go out of your way to help the channel, and I really appreciate it. It's how I keep the lights on. It's why I love doing this, and I love what I do. And so thank you so much. I thought you burned down your house. I did, but I bought a new one because of all the super chats and stuff. Literally, that's because that's how it rolls. Dance monkey dance. I really am a monkey for most people. I really am, but I'm an entertainer. It's what I want to do. I enjoy it. You know, a lot of people. I'll say this too. A lot of people take that wrong. A lot of people when they see me say that, they think that I'm being divisive or putting down fans of the channel or saying I hate what I do. I'm an entertainer. By my trade, I'm here to make your guys' days better, or at least challenge you, or in some way do something you guys enjoy that you choose to give your time for. I love it. I absolutely love doing it. So when I say it like that, it's not like derisive or anything. That's what all entertainers do. And I thank God that you guys help me find my passion. This is, I love the hell out of this, you know? Talia Al Ghul and the Fandom Menace has families to feed too. Also, they don't wish Bob Iger or Kathleen to die. They just don't like what they are doing in Star Wars and are defending it. I guess you didn't hear half of what I just said, Talia, when I specifically went out of my way to say I wasn't talking about anyone specific necessarily. Also, most of the channels don't rely on YouTube income like me, but that's fine. Well, let's just drop it, buddy. Talia, I'm going to give you a virtual hug. So I want you to do this. Do this. So pretend like we're in Steven Universe and do this, because that's what they do in Steven Universe. They hug themselves a lot and cry a lot. Steven Universe is really weird. You think SDF Macross is weird? Watch Steven Universe. Lore Reloaded is the most moral sellout I know. Hey, I sell out for you. I do it for the kids. Matrom, your channel is entertaining when you're talking about the lore in Trek, similar to X. So let me ask you this, Matrom, in all curiosity. Do you not like when I try to expand beyond that? I'm really, in all seriousness. And if you don't, that's fine. Matrom, if you don't like stuff that is not Trek, that's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm just curious. Is there anything else that I do that you enjoy? I'm just disappointed in how most long-running franchises don't stand by older fans who care yet to listen to a very, very small group of people on Twitter. You know, Barry, here's the thing, though. Corporations are out to make money, and whatever makes them money is what they're going to do. Let's move off topic for a second. I sell out for the views. I do. It's true. That's going to get clipped. Guarantee. There are channels dedicated to the destruction of my channel. Literally anti-lore reloaded channels that nitpick everything I do and clip my stuff. That is going to get clipped. Watch. Here's the interesting thing. A lot of people say that corporations are just doing it for like the agenda. Like they're just doing it because of, they're just doing it for, social justice warrior bias or whatever. I don't think so. I don't think corporations are doing that. I think corporations want to make an S ton of money, and they look and what they see in the culture is what they think is going to make them money, and they do that. And I'll say this. I think a lot of huge YouTube channels that 5-10 years ago were making edgy content, making racist content, and now have all of a sudden seen the light, doing the exact same thing. I don't think there's an agenda bias. I think they think they're going to make a ton of money doing it. And I don't think they care about the old guard, the old Trek. CP Lassen, Laura, you're not entirely correct about what corporations do. They do whatever they think will make money. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I misspoke. I like when you do any lore, says Mike Gabb. Love the Robotech video. Love the show when I was a kid. Well, I'm glad. I mean, it's okay. There is nothing wrong to say, hey, I only like your Star Trek content. That's the only thing you seem to do well. I watch every Star Trek video you upload. Probably no video that's non-Star Trek. That's actually okay. Because you like what you like. And I don't have an issue with that. I honestly want to know, like when people say just focus on Trek, depending on how they say it. Because if you're a jerk, I'm going to be a jerk back. But if most people say, hey, they say, hey, I don't like this. I don't I don't disagree. I don't mind that. I like creating a conversation, and it goes back to what I was talking about with Talia, right? I don't know why I'm talking about you in the third person. You're right here. But the goal, like, so here's the behind the scenes. I have a couple of goals for the channel that push what makes it popular. I don't try to get views. I don't try to get clicks or anything. That is ultimately what pays the bills. But the way I try to do that is I try to create a conversation. As I said, I try to look at things from a way that will inspire people to watch and inspire people to want to either agree or disagree. And I don't even know where I was going with this, but that's how I actually do the channel. So when I do something, like I sat here for about 30 minutes wondering what we should talk about. And then I was like, oh, well, a lot of people are upset about the Star Wars thing. A lot of people you can definitely tell Star Trek is not looking at its older viewers. That'll create a conversation. Let's have that conversation. I subbed for the Star Trek lore and stayed for all your lore. Keep up the good. Well, thank you, K-Wolf. Again, it's not a bad thing to not like. If you say you only like one thing about the channel, that's why you're here. That's not bad. I don't care about that. Are you hyped about The Expanse Season 4? I'm looking forward to it. I actually have an Expanse video coming out today. I tried to super chat, but my card is no good. It's fine to see. Yeah, and I've talked about that. Like, if for whatever... You guys, I love doing this. I enjoy entertaining. And if you can't or don't want to support, like through Super Chats, TTS, PayPal, that's great. That's fine. Just watch the channel and have a conversation. That's good too. Don't need prequels or reboots of Star Trek if they want a younger audience. Make something completely new. Why not do Star Trek in the future with totally new characters and keep Trek fill? Well, they're kind of doing that, they're creating franchises and cartoons for it. That's going on Nickelodeon, no less. We don't realize we are in the minority that dislikes CBS Trek because social media makes our viewpoint in a bubble. See, I don't know, Surf Trektonics. I think minority is too strong a word. But I do think that they make enough to be profitable. I do think that there's enough people that enjoy it to be profitable. Yeah, Mammoth Nightmare, take me to that. Because you said it wasn't well researched. I'd be really interesting. What did I get wrong? Because I'll be happy to challenge you on any of that. I watched the first episode a couple of times. Actually went through the full series. Can you please let me know? And by the way, I swear to God, in the Robotech serialized, they say Zentropy, not Zendrati. I don't know what the hell y'all are smoking. Or maybe they changed the dialogue, but it is not Zendrati. I don't care who you are. But, Mammoth, give me some things that I got wrong on it. And if we need to, we can pull up the actual first episode, and I can show you where I'm right. All franchises have lore and universal rules. It's not a hindrance. Break the rules and risk breaking everything. I agree with that. Weren't there a Star Trek cartoon called Lower Decks in the works? There is. There's two. Hey, Laura, There are two. There's Lower Decks and one that's not named. That's on the other. There's Lower Decks and one that's not named. That's on Nickelodeon. Hey, Laura, you're one of the first YouTube channels I watched, so I stayed. Don't pay attention. All right. Let's take a look at this. Maybe you're right. Maybe I got all of them wrong. Let's talk about this together. Now, here's the thing that you may not get that may put you at a disadvantage. I am doing a breakdown as the episodes go through. So it's based on what we see right here. All right. Are we ready? Here we go. They did not steal the SDF-1. They recovered it after it crashed. That was a clear... I'm not going to say clear. That was a joke. Harmony Gold actually has a history where they stole Robotech. They copyrighted it against a company that had been using it for years that just hadn't copyrighted it. They stole it, and then they stole other things and took those ideas and put them in there. Now, it was a bad joke because not everyone knows that history. Obviously, if the ship crash lands onto the planet, it's not stealing. But I'll give you that one. It was a really bad joke. There you go. They knew how to use the SDF-1 and its weapons. What they did not know was how they worked the way they did. Knowing how to use something and how it works is completely different. What? That doesn't even make any sense. First off, the dialogue specifically itself says that they don't know how to effectively use it. The Zentradi, when fighting the UN Space Forces, say, hey, look, they're using two things. They're using Robotech technology combined with this ancient archaic technology, and they don't know how to use the Robotech technology. That's based on Zentradi. The people who are about to they are about to, okay, so if you're listening to this at work, don't just turn the volume down. The Zentradi who are about to fuck Earth's world up, yeah, they are the ones that said that they don't know how to use it. Also, how to use something and how it works, maybe a little bit, but that was based on the dialogue. So if you disagree with the Zentradi and the humans knew exactly how to use all of it and did just fantastic job, even though there was a booby trap that they had no idea, they've studied it for 10 years and they couldn't find a booby trap, but whatever. If you disagree with the Zentradi, okay, that's between you and the Zentradi. I was just going off based off the people who know what the tech is. But hey, there we go. They discovered that a hostile alien species could and very most likely would come for their lost ship. That's in the video, leaving them in the position to be eradicated after giving it up or create new technology in hopes to combat this alien threat. I say that. So I'm not sure why that's still there. I specifically talk about that. Rick was best friends with Roy Fokker, the KAG of the ST-1, not just some soldier. If you're the CAG of the S, first off, he was brother. They say brother in the dialogue. But let me ask you this. If you're the CAG and SDF-1, what does that also make you? If you are the XO of a ship, what are you as well? If you, I'm trying to think. So we're both right on that. So he is the CAG, sure. And he's also a soldier. A CAG, by definition, is a soldier. And not just some soldier. That's subjective. If I want to think that he's just some soldier, it's subjective. I'm not... Also, talking about... And by the way, I'm not mad. I'm just walking through this because this is the conversation we're having. The point of the lore breakdown is not a specific synopsis of the characters. It's about the world and the impact. Commander Air Group usually has complete command of the fighter screens. Yes, but what is... I know what CAG stands for. Thanks. I too have watched... oh shit, I'm sitting here trying to be cocky and I forget the name of it. I too have watched Battlestar Galactica. I know what CAG is. If he's in charge of the air group, he's still a soldier! Where are we going? He would easily be able to get Rick out of any jam the RDF would decide to put Rick into because the aerial acrobatic stunt. He honestly didn't put anyone in danger other than himself. That is first off, I agree when I said you can commit a lot of felonies and you know a soldier, and you're still a soldier, you can get them out of it. I agree. That's what I said. I think the issue we're having is that you guys think I diminished the fact that he's a CAG by just calling him a soldier. Wow, thanks for screaming dick. Well, Ryan, welcome to the Lore Reloaded. Love to have you here, buddy. I respect you too, Talia. We're just disagreeing. Nothing wrong with that. He's an officer. I'll agree with that. The SDF-1's booby trap can easily stay intact. The SDF-1's booby trap can easily stay intact even after being rebuilt. This is a computer system league beyond our complete understanding, so find something like a booby trap could easily escape. Now wait, Talia. Wait, Talia. Earthbound. This guy is as immature as someone on Channel Awesome. Welcome to the channel. Hey, if you don't like it, you can hit the top left-hand corner. I want to say there's a YouTube button. It says YouTube. Just click on it. It's an icon. You can find someone else. But Talia, let's have this conversation. The SDF-1's booby trap can easily stay intact even after being rebuilt. This is a computer system leagues beyond our complete understanding. But wait, Talia. Didn't you just tell me they knew how to use the SDF-1 and its weapons? What they didn't know, knowing how to use something and how it works is completely different. Do they know how to use it or do they not? Because they don't know about the booby trap and the computer is leagues above their understanding. It's one or the other, my friend. Either they know how to use it and it's leagues above their understanding, or either they know how to use it and they understand the computer, or it's leagues above their understanding. Continue on. The main gun firing into the ocean is an animation error. Does it happen? If it happens, I talk about it. Robotechnology was not a term created by humanity in the series. It came from the Robotech masters, and as the Zentradi are their creations, the Zentradi used it. They call it Robotech. They're the ones that call it that. That's my thing. If you don't like lore, just alt F4 out the door. Yeah. They call it, it's not me. It's not like I just randomly come up with this stuff. See, and this is why I get passionate about it, Talia. I am not, talk to you later, Lord Kex. Thanks for coming by. I'm not above being wrong. And I'm going to get, I do not know Robotech or SDF Macross or whatever else the other anime is as well as you do or as well as I know Trek. So there are things I'm going to get wrong. Who's calling me? I'll be right back. Nobody important. Okay. I don't know it as well as you. So I'm going to get stuff wrong, and I'm okay with that. But when people say you haven't done the research, I don't think you understand what I do to look into all of this. Again, I watched the episode multiple times and the entire series. And they say Robotech. It's in the dialogue. I'll try to find it and put it in the next one, but they specifically call it the humans call it Robotech. Now, I get that that could be a dialogue issue. That could be a dialogue error that in canon or in lore. Furious Neckboard. I hate you, Rage Roo. I hate you and love you. I get that maybe in lore they wouldn't have known that. You know? I hate you, Rage. Furious Neckbeard noises. That's going to be a shirt. I'm going to use that. Talia, please tell me you're still here. I really... Zentradi is the name of the aliens, as others have pointed out. Sure, they say Zentropy. I don't care what you say. Maybe the dialogue, maybe I was like high when I heard it the 1,000 times they talk about it. But I swear. Lisa was not the motherly type. She's even called a sourpuss by Rick. She's a hard A that takes military bearing and law extremely seriously. Talk to you later, Michael Weir. Glad you came by. Let me ask you this. I didn't mean to make her... I called her Yandere. I meant to call her a Sundere, so I was wrong on that, and I'm going to correct that next time. Is Yandere the mother type? Maybe that's where that came from. It's Japanese for a person who is initially very loving and gentle to someone, or at least innocent, before their devotion becomes destructive in nature. Is that where you got the motherly type thing? Because that was not my intent. Because this chick, even watching the first episode, this chick, I could tell, was going to hate somebody that she wanted to bounce on their lap. And that's what I meant to get off. That's why I wanted to call her Sundere and not a Yandere. I don't speak Japanese for a living, so that may have been it. That may have been on my side. So if that's where you got that from, because I don't think I call her a motherly type beyond that, then that's my fault. So I may grant that one because that was I don't think if I called her a motherly type in there, or I gave off that impression, that was not my intent. So there may be that. I think we can agree that Min Mei is the worst. Isn't she the one that in that same episode is like you can't smoke on the bridge or something stupid like that? 9. I don't see a problem with an all-female bridge crew. They all more excelled at their job throughout the series. It was a joke. So in all sincerity, Talia, you come at me and you say these are corrections that I didn't study enough and that I don't know the lore. How is that at any point? That is subjective. First off, I was joking. I even put empowerment of them because I to piss off the anti-SJWs. But even if I said, this is horrific, why would they put these idiot girls on the bridge who don't know anything, these know-nothings that all they talk about is jumping in someone's lap, and one woman who can't find a man to love her gets onto him. If I even made that, that's a subjective opinion. That isn't impactful of the lore. That's just you and me disagreeing on their effectiveness, right? So if there's and again, that's not even my point. I was just trying to make a joke that they had an all-female crew there and, who to piss off. It was just a joke. But if there's something there that I missed, I would be interested to know. The SDF one itself was not deemed top secret because nobody could keep the secret that a giant alien spaceship just crashed in Earth with the force of a 100 megaton nuke. That was kept secret was the existence of the aliens because the RDF did not believe the public was ready to accept the fact of warring alien species that could be coming for them all. I understand you're joking around with some of this, which is fine, but if you want to comment on the lore of Robotech, more research is definitely required. Okay, so you admit that some of those, I was just joking. The one I will give you on that is maybe I should have been a little more specific when it came to the top secretness. To your point, they were trying to keep it a secret that there's these big aliens they're trying to kill. They also, that technology, now, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Natalia, in all seriousness, correct me if I'm wrong here. The technology itself was kept to the military. They did not allow the technology to get to the civilians, which is what I was trying to say, because that makes no sense. It's absolutely stupid. Hey, we find even if they didn't keep the tech to civilian, even if they allowed civilians to have the tech, hey, we find this ship. It shows us that there are other aliens that are probably going to come and try to murder us all. We should probably keep that secret. Let's have a city built around it with civilians. But I may be wrong. Maybe they have the tech. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. But the point that I was trying to say is that they've got secrets there that they're trying to keep. And again, that could have been unclear, and I completely agree with that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they didn't want any of it kept secret beyond the alien thing. I can be wrong. I'm not saying I'm not. Matrim, hey Laura, am I correct in saying that you're joking when the music stops playing? Yes. So believe it or not, there are actual cues that I try to give in my videos that show when I'm joking and when I'm not. So if the music stops, that's generally, I don't know when it's not. It's a joke. Maybe there's some truth to what I'm saying, but generally I'm just joking around. If I say something a couple of times, or if I say that if you disagree with me, you're wrong, then I'm joking. Because I'm not above it, Wasn't there civilian loading transporting mechs with Robotech? Maybe I was wrong on that. I'll admit, maybe you got me. Maybe you got me on that one. Like, I think, if I'm wrong on that one, I think the ones that are most likely is 1 and 10. One was a stupid joke that I wasn't clear about, and if you don't know the history of Harmony Gold, makes no sense. And then 10, if they didn't have it. Some of the other things, I don't know that you're necessarily wrong. I think we just disagree on when it comes to what happens in there. And that's fine. It's fine to have those interpretations because, again, it's art. We weren't there. We weren't talking to them. So the Zendrati specifically say that they're using Robotech and they have no idea what they're doing. The Zendrati say that, and we see them fight what are 2 ships that are from Robotech technology and get the living hell beat out of them. So that's where I'm getting that from, and that to me is what it looks like. And in the lore, that's what it looks like. Now, when they use the SDF-1, they seem to know exactly what they're doing, with the exception of the booby trap, which again still makes no sense to me. But the other ones, I don't think I think they show they don't use it. You know? I'd love to see a full breakdown of the series. If you decide to do a rewatch of the series, I think it would give a better idea of what is actually going on. I'm doing a full breakdown of the series. I'm doing it episode by episode. So as things go, it's going to grow. That's what I've started doing with a lot of stuff because I feel like it's the best way to hit all of the lore and not to miss something. Those are my opinions, though, guys. By the way, I apologize if I got too passionate or whatever. It seems like some people got mad, even unsubscribed, which just breaks my little heart. I get so upset when people leave for me being me. I know people want me to be fake, and I try so hard to be fake, but for those that stuck around, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, Talia, again, I addressed your issues, and I got to admit, for those who want to trigger me, it's not like I hate your guts or anything, but it does get me passionate because I try very, very hard to give you guys something that's worth something. When I first started doing lore, I didn't really do the research I should have, and I was always having to correct myself. And I hated that. And so I worked really hard to learn how to actually do the research and stuff. And so when people are like, well, you just didn't do the lore, you don't research lore or whatever, that gets me passionate about it because I really try. And it pisses me off, me, not you. And tell you, I'm not mad at you or anything. This is just me talking. If I do something and I get something really wrong, it like emotionally impacts me. I mean, I'm not going to go kill myself or anything like that, but I have a really visceral negative reaction because I really love being an entertainer for you guys. I love giving you stuff, and I feel like I failed you, and I'm not worthy of what you guys do, or I'm not worthy of your guys's viewership if I get it wrong. And I know I'm going to get stuff wrong, but you know. Joseph Petrick, I will never unsubscribe, Daddy. Well, thank you. I'm glad. I hate the fact that I made the daddy joke. I get called daddy a lot now. It's never my intent to anger. I just thought you would enjoy some correction on the lore. You didn't anger me. You didn't. I can see now I got to type. I wasn't angered. I wasn't angered at Mammoth at all. Yeah, I mean, you guys should tell me if I do something wrong, or even if you think I need to do more research, then say it. It just gets me passionate. You know, so here, I'm going to put it in here. Passionate, anger. See? There it is. Have you thought of comparing Robotech to Exo Squad? I haven't. I don't know enough about Exo Squad. I used to watch Exo Squad, but it's been so long ago. What I intend to do is I want to do Robotech. What's going on? What's going on, Tazara? I want to do Robotech all the way to the end, and then I'm going to come back and do SDF Macross. I know you guys don't appreciate that. Most of you would prefer me to reverse that, but this is the best way I'm going to be able to do it. All right, guys. I'm going to end it. Thank you so much for coming. I may be on tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard, twitter.tv/Lore Reloaded. Check me out at twitter.tv. Fuck me. Twitch.tv/Lore Reloaded. Check me out at twitter.com/Lore Reloaded. And I think that's where we're going to go with it. But yeah, no, and again, oh, that was Mammoth. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking like Talia. All of this was for Mammoth. I'm sorry. Yeah, Mammoth, none of this made me mad. I don't even mind having this conversation. I'm going to thumb it up. And Mammoth, for you, buddy. Just for you. I'm going to go here. How do I do this? Do I go here? Hold on. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Hold on, Mammoth. Mammoth, wait for it. Mammoth Nightmare? How can you not find Mammoth Nightmare? His name is right... Oh. Oh my god. YouTube beta. Please go die in a fire. Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Pinned. Pinned, Mammoth. Morning, Ray. All right, guys. Yeah, anytime I said Talia in the last hour, I was talking to Mammoth. All right, guys. Thanks so much. It was fun, Mammoth. I'll take some of that feedback. I think, again, I would disagree with your assessment. Some of it I think we just disagree with. Other things I think the show is putting. And some of the details, maybe we both need to go back and rewatch and see who was right on that. Because I think we're seeing different things. Lore Reloaded, reading.exe not working. That's true. I am going in order of release. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.